guys, how's it going? It's Nicola Rodriguez from Australia Down Under, and today I have a very special person that I want to introduce to you guys. Now, this gentleman has blown my mind. A young 21-year-old who's worked in a factory, done a million whole online MLMs, different things here, different things there, and nothing seemed to work until one day he came across our mentor. And it seems that life has changed dramatically for this amazing 21-year-old. So today, I'm so excited and so blessed to introduce to you Samuel Mojica Jr. So Samuel, come on and let's have a chat today.
All right. Thank you, Nicola, for the awesome introduction.
So how are you going?
I'm doing good so far. Today, I think we actually, before this interview, we spoke about that. My lifestyle, like right now, my lifestyle is a lot different than I thought it would be. I play a lot in the mornings, right? As in, I go out, I have some fun my whole entire morning and afternoon, and then I only work in the evenings for like 1 or 2 hours. And that's kind of where my lifestyle is at right now. So right now I'm actually in the relaxing part of my day, right?
So hold on, do I get this right? You get to relax and play in the morning, and you get to work at night and enjoy your time during the day. Is that right?
Yeah, basically. It was the opposite when I first started, right? Where I used to, work for 1 or 2 hours in the morning and then enjoy the rest of my day. But I just find it, at least for me personally, like I always tell people, when it comes to living the freedom lifestyle, it's different depending on who you are. Some people, they would rather get the work done in the morning and then enjoy the rest of their day, right? Me personally, I like to just enjoy my whole entire day and then get the work, like 1 or 2 hours, get the work done at night. Right, that's just my lifestyle, right? So far, so good. I'm just relaxing right now.
But it wasn't like that for you before, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
we're not even going back, 3 months, 6 months ago? It wasn't like that for you?
This was actually, I'm on week number 8. It's been 8 weeks since I joined the whole mentoring program. So I'm still pretty young, and it's only been like 2 months.
Gosh, it feels like you've been here 6 months. You're killing it. This is great. So let's go back to that before you came into Black Ops. Like, what was the reason that you decided that you wanted to take that leap?
Well, I'm going to go back kind of close to the day that changed my life, right? So back in the day, 8 weeks ago, actually, I used to work at a bread factory. And because of circumstances, I had to work that job since I didn't feel like going to college, right? I didn't really have the credentials to go to college. But I just wanted to make money. I was a young guy. I just wanted to make money and help my mother pay bills. At that point, that was the most important thing. My most important goal, just help my mother pay bills, help us get by, right? Because we just came out of a very tough situation before that bread factory, right? So now when I first stepped into the bread factory, I'm going to be honest, since I was young, I've always had the mentality that I want more out of life, right? I've watched Steve Jobs. I've watched what Warren Buffett has done. I've always been fascinated by these stories of people who they had humble beginnings and they ended up becoming the super wealthy, right? So when I first joined my job, I told myself that, you know what? I'm not going to be here forever. I know I have potential. I believed in my own potential, but I wasn't ready for success yet. Right, I wasn't mentally ready. I wasn't emotionally ready. I still needed to learn a lot of things. So what I actually started doing is I had a 1 hour break. I used to work the 12 to 14 hours a day, and I had 1 hour of break for lunch. So what I did is every single day, I would actually bring a book. Like right now, like for example, a book like this. I would bring a book. I would take it with me, and then for lunch, I would eat for 10 minutes. Then for 50 minutes, I would just, as much as I can, I would start flipping the page, start reading, right, as much as I can. And I had a little notepad with me that I used to take to work, right? And I used to just learn every single day. I would learn. I actually adopted something called Kaizen, which means every single day I seek to better myself. Every single day I seek to become a better version of who I was yesterday, right? If yesterday, I was somebody yesterday, that's not who I am today. Today, I will become better, little by little. It doesn't have to be big, just little tiny tweaks every single day. And I adopted that. So I was dedicated to personal development from the beginning, right? I told myself that in order for me to become successful in anything, I have to ready myself. I have to develop the mindset for that. So now the books that helped me out the most, like as I was working that job, right? Like anything from Napoleon Hill. I used to read Think and Grow Rich, which I have it in my closet somewhere in my library there. Think and Grow Rich. I guess the number one book that changed my life was How to Raise Your Own Salary by Napoleon Hill, where he actually interviewed Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie, in his time, he was like the richest man on the planet in his time, right? So it was like I had the audiobook. So in the factory job, like a lot of it is automatic. And I know some people watching this, maybe your job, maybe you don't work in a factory, but your job is pretty automatic that once you have the habits, your body just moves on its own,
Yeah.
right? Where you didn't have to think, it just moves on its own, right? And that's how the job was for me. So I used to sneak in a headphone when my boss wasn't watching, to sneak a headphone in. I knew where all the cameras were. Right? So I would always change the headphones according to wherever the camera's at. And I would listen to Andrew Carnegie just share wisdom from his whole entire like 70 plus years of building wealth. He was like my rich uncle that I never had. He would share wisdom. And I used to learn, like I learned about thinking big, about having a desire. I learned about, develop that everything starts in your mind. Like the millions of dollars that you want to make in your lifetime, it has to start in here before it appears physically. Right. And I started to learn those concepts. So, and I also started to learn that, man, I'm very far away from becoming successful because it was my mind. I kept, since I didn't come from a rich family, right? I had very humble beginnings where, I grew up with a single mother who she just gave up her dreams to take care of my sister and I, right? So I wasn't surrounded by money. So I wasn't, but that, because of that, I knew that I was limiting myself, right? I wasn't aware of how much wealth there was on this planet, how much abundance.
And what were you earning in the factory? Like, I mean, you're obviously, when you're working and somebody's paying you a wage, that kind of embeds into you how much you're worth, right?
So, I was making $11 an hour.
$11 an hour.
Yeah,
My
$11
that's
an hour.
crazy.
It was around 2,000. It was $2,000 to $2,200 a month, just because I was working like 60 to 70 hours a week.
Wow.
Right. So it was very short pay, but I was just working a lot of hours. But a lot of that money was going to my mom because I was just trying to pay bills, trying to get by. Right. So now let's kind of fast forward about a month into that factory job. I started to look on the internet for different ways to make more money because I was a young guy. I was very money hungry. I wanted to make more money. And after going through all this personal development, I was reading like 3 or 4 books a week. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's impossible. When you're listening to audiobooks for 12 to 14 hours per day, Monday through Saturday, you'll get through 3 to 4 books every week, right? You may even hit 5 a week. So I was going through a lot. I was learning a lot of new material, right? And here's a pro tip. I actually stuck to like one author, right? Because if you read many books from too many people, then there's a lot of conflicting beliefs and you're like, so what should I believe? Right? So I stuck to Napoleon Hill for the first month, and then I started looking online. I'm like, wait a minute, all right. Napoleon Hill starts to talk about surrounding yourself with successful people. So automatically, I started researching network marketing, right? Because network marketing, it's in the name. You network with people, right? Yes. I needed to build my network. I didn't have, the only friends that I had at the time was my best friend from high school, which he was going to college and he wasn't making any money. And I had my coworker that was also making $11 an hour. Those are the only people I had really in my life. And that was limiting me because I was limiting my mindset, right? I was here like they wouldn't understand if I were to tell them that, oh, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make $1 million a month. I want to be worth more. They wouldn't understand that because they're not making that.
And that's very common, isn't it? I mean, it's common in a lot of workplaces. It's common all over the world. Doesn't matter where you work, what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of people right now, like I want to keep it as real as possible. A lot of times, you're surrounded by losers, right? It's a hard word. It's a hard way of putting it, but it is true. Those people, they're bringing you down, right? They're keeping you thinking small. Like if you're working in a job right now and you think you're only worth $100 a day, 200, 300, let's say you're a lawyer or a doctor. If you think you're only worth like $300, $400 a day, like, what is that? You're worth way more than that. You're a human life. Did you know that your heart alone, if you're doing like an organ transplant, your heart alone is worth almost $200,000? Your heart.
Wow.
200,000. We are already millionaires. When people tell me, this is a concept that I learned from a book, right? That we are already millionaires. Every organ in our body, it's all worth over $100,000 per organ in our body. Our bodies alone are worth over $1 million. So you're already a millionaire. Right, you're worth more than $1 million. So that kind of puts things into perspective, right? So now, anyways, I started researching. I have, by the way, because I digress all the time. So sorry.
Fine, I'm the same. I'm glad you're speaking today, not me.
So now I started looking online. I started looking at network marketing, and I kind of fell into a trap, right? And the trap was that I thought that I'm a smart guy. I can figure it all out. Right, that I could just, I join a program, I do whatever they teach me, and I'm gonna make like $10,000 a month. I was sold on that dream, and the reality was that was a lie. That's not how online business works. I realized that These companies, they keep telling you that, oh, you have to hound your friends and family, right? They don't tell you that you're going to hear the word no hundreds of times. They don't tell you that, right? That you're going to get rejected all the time. They don't tell you how to generate leads because they actually say, hey, look, just contact your friends and family. Like, what is that? I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to harass my friends and harass my family. And at the end of the day, not have any friends or family because of that. That was not what I wanted to do, right? There, in my mind, there had to be a better way. There had to be, right? It's the internet. It was 2017. There had to be a better way. And thankfully there was, right? After going through like 20, it was around 20 to 50 programs. I don't know the exact, it was a lot of programs. I spent, like, imagine I was making like $2,000 a month. $1,500 of that was going to my mom, right, to pay off bills. And the rest of the 500 was just me trying to make something happen online. Was just spent on, that was my budget, $500 a month to spend on programs until I hit the jackpot.
And that's things like the programs that, you know, make you do auto ships and stuff like that. So, you know, like it might be really cheap to get into to start with, but then every month you're having to get that auto ship to be able to even keep those little commissions that are rolling in.
And here's the thing. I realized very quickly now that I look at it, like when you look at hindsight, you can kind of get all the lessons from it. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month, let's be real. You're not going to do that with an $80 product. You're not going to do that with something that you only make like $100 per sale. Like, you won't do it. You won't do it. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month, you're going to, even if you do it, it's not worth the time that it's going to take to get that. Yeah. Right. So I knew I was kind of setting myself up for failure there. Now that I look back on it, right, because I was trying to be cheap, right? I was trying to just, it was like almost I was entering the casino and I was just throwing $1 at every single slot machine. I would spend $1, spend $1, spend $1, and hopefully getting a jackpot, you know, and that's not what happened. So after spending all that money, I thought to myself, all right, maybe it's me. Right. I've already gone through a lot of books and I was already in a certain level of personal development that I'm like, wait a minute, maybe it's not the programs. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's something that I don't know. Right. I started taking responsibility. So I told myself, what's the best way to learn something with minimizing my risk without having to worry about failing? And I came across the answer, get a teacher. Like I asked myself, what have I been doing since I started working at this factory? I got a teacher. I got a mentor. Yep. I had somebody who's already successful teaching me and reprogramming my mind. So I'm like, if I've already been doing this mentally, why should I do any different in my business? Let me find a mentor who can help me in business, someone who's already successful. And that's what I did. I came across a man who both you and I, we now know as our millionaire mentor, Darren Little. I started, there's something about this guy that just caught my eye. The fact that, you know, because look, there's a lot of mentors out there. There's a lot of gurus and a lot of millionaires out there that want to teach you the secret way. There's thousands of them, right? And they're all going to promise the same stuff, oh, financial freedom, all this, all that, right? But the one thing that made this man different was that he never boasted about his results. He boasted about the results of his students. And he had a lot of them. He had a 17-year-old who made $35,000 a month, a single mother living on her credit cards that went on to make almost $200,000 in a year. He had a mother and a father who were about to be evicted, thrown out of their house, go on to make over $100,000 their first year. He had another young guy, I think his name was Eagle, right? He was like 23 years old, right? He was like washing cars, and he went on to make, you know, over $10,000 his first month. There were all these testimonials, like there were over 20 of them. Right. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's proof to me. And the thing is that these weren't actors. There's a dark side of I've been through enough programs to know that there's a dark side of the internet, that if you're not careful, there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of paid actors. You can get any
testimonial you want if you pay Fiverr.com, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of like fake stuff. So I was very skeptical. So what I did is that I started searching up like these names on social media and I would find them. And the thing is that success leaves clues. I used to scroll down through their social media and I would hear their story from their mouths, not just my mentor, from their mouths. And that sold me. That freaking sold me at that exact moment. I remember I reached out to Darren Little and I told him, look, man, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of broke. I'm at a factory, but I know I have potential. I just don't know, like, I don't have the right vehicle yet to bring that out. And I was wondering if you could mentor me. Like, what do I have to do for you to mentor me? And what he said next shocked me at the time. He actually told me that, look, Sam, I'm going to be straight. It's going to cost you $1,350 if you want me to mentor you. If you don't have the money, go find another mentor, right? I can't mentor you. Now, what I didn't know at the time is that this guy charges, like, regularly on his website, he charges $1,000 per hour.
Yeah.
And he was telling me it's only going to cost 1,350 for me to get mentorship from him. So what I did, I'm always going to go back to, I'm always going to say thankfully, thanks to my previous mentors, the books,
Yep.
right? I was at a certain mentality that I wasn't a victim. I wasn't going to victimize myself. I told myself, okay, I only have like $300 in the bank account, but I see the value. If I were to somehow come up with the money, I know that through my potential and also through the fact that this guy has raised so many successful people, I believed in myself enough to know that I could turn that 1350 into 5 figures a month. I knew it in my heart, right? I just needed the right vehicle. So I told myself, starting from this day forward, every paycheck that I get from my job, 10 to 40% of that paycheck, I'm saving it. It's going in my bank, in my savings account. 10 to 40, I was aggressive, 10 to 40%. And that meant that I stopped going out. I couldn't go out. I didn't have the money to go out anymore. I stopped buying food. All I did was I took fruit from home, and sometimes I would be cheap and I would start eating those like ramen noodles, and I would start eating like those $1 meals, right? Because I became frugal.
You had a bigger goal.
I had to, because now I had a goal. I knew that, okay, I need 1350 to change my life. I need that amount of money. And look, if Darren would have told me I needed $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, that would have still been my goal. Let's be honest, I probably would still be at that factory, but I would be working my butt off, saving 10 to 40% until I had the $10,000. Because the thing, it wasn't about the price to me, right? The price didn't matter that much. What mattered to me was the value. What was I going to get in return for that, right? If I knew that $10,000 was going to buy me my freedom, what's freedom worth to you? For me, it was priceless. It was worth everything to me. I was willing to put my life on the line if it meant becoming financially free, right? So what I did is I started saving money, and it took me 4 months to do it, right? It took me 4 months of just living frugal, paying the price today so that I don't have to pay the price tomorrow. That's a quote from Grant Cardone: pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. I was paying the price. I was sacrificing. I stopped hanging out with my friends, because my friends, they didn't want to hang out with me. I wouldn't spend money. If they're like, hey, Sam, you want to go to the theaters? I would say, sure. Are you going to invite me out? Like, that's how I was. I had to be like that. I had to sacrifice to reach my goals. So now 4 months later, I finally reached 1350. And I remember this day so clearly, right? It was a Wednesday. I finally saw that number in my bank account. And I told my boss at the time that, hey, man, look, I'm going to be here till Friday and I'm out. Right? I accomplished a goal I was going to set out to reach, and I'm out of here after Friday. And thankfully, my boss, he's a cool guy. He was a family friend, so he was like, look, Sam, I've seen how fast you picked up the job. I see how fast you work and how smart you are and all that. Like, I think you can do it. Go ahead. He was cool with it. He was a really cool boss. He's like, go ahead, Sam. If you have to do that, sure. And I'm like, all right, look. So if you find an employee before Friday, I'll train them. You have to pay me. You have to pay me to train them, of course, right? But I'll train them, and I'll make sure that I instill all the habits that I've learned in this job. I'll push it onto them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I did. They found somebody the next day from Thursday to Friday. I trained them. And then I just, bon voyage. I just said goodbye. Like I just said,
and this was
I'm out of
even
here.
before you even had sort of made any money. Is that right? Like, it was just your intention.
This is pre-mentorship. This was actually before I even paid for mentorship. I think it was, what was it called? Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of this book. It had a really funny name. Something about, if I could search it up here, let me actually see, guys. Let me search it up.
Because I think that's the thing, is that so many people are stuck in that comfort zone where, like they've got to go to work to put food on the table. They've got to go to work to do that. So if they set an intention to say, I'm going to join this program and I'm quitting my job Friday, so many people, their subconscious kicks in and says, hold on. That's a bit crazy. So for you to be able to do that and show people that, once that intention is set, you can do it. It's just a matter of this.
There's a book, I remember now, I just searched it up quickly on Google here. It was called, and excuse my French, it was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Right? I like that.
The Subtle Art of Not Caring, which means, all it means is that I knew that I forgot the name of the author, but something he said in that book is that, look, when you have a safety net, like, you're going to get lazy. You're going to be comfortable. You're not going to go all the way. You're going to dip your little toes in it. You're going to dip half your foot in whatever on your decision. And because of that, you're not going to go anywhere. right? And then I watched a video from Tony Robbins that said, when you land on that island and you're there to fight a war, and you know that if you win that war, you're going to become free, you're going to be financially free, you're going to make 10, 20, 30, $40,000 in 1 month. You look back at the ships that brought you to that island and you burn them. Because as long as those ships are there, you're going to have that little word retreat, right? As in when things get hard, when things get bad, you're going to go back to those boats and you're going to retreat. You can't have that in business. I knew that if I wanted to become successful in a short period of time, I needed to burn my ships. I needed to take away my safety net. So that's why I quit my job. That's actually the reasoning.
You know, that's an amazing way to describe that. It really is. Like, I actually haven't heard that before. And I totally agree with you there, because like when we do have that safety net, we're comfortable. We're comfortable. We know that, hey, look, there's, you know, I can pay my rent next week. I can pay my bills and I'm comfortable. So that's really interesting that you've shared that, because I'm sure there's so many people who are watching this today who are in that position, that they've got those ships there in the background waiting.
I'm not gonna say that, you know, look, I know it's hard. Some situations are hard for other people. Let's say, for example, you, Nicola, you know, you have 4 kids. So it might be a little harder for you to burn that safety net because, you know, you have other mouths other than yourself to feed, right? But a lot of times you can also use that as motivation to make something big happen. Now, a lot of people that have kids right now, like imagine if I know that I have to pay bills this week because I have kids to feed, I have to take care of my sister, my brother, my husband, whatever, whoever's living with me, I have to take care of, they depend on me. I have to make it happen. Yeah. And whether I have to call people, whether I have to message 50 people a day, whether I have to do a Facebook Live, instead of thinking about it, no, I'll do it. Because there's no retreat. I can't run away. I have to lead the charge. It's either do or die. I either do it or I'm broke. I either do it or I die. I win this war or I lose everything, right?
You see, that's the mindset. Doing that, having that mentality and having all that training sort of there before you've sort of come into Black Ops has been a little bit of a stepping stone for you to be able to just really take off. I mean, like, I remember when you first came in, it was like, hey, there's this, you know, young 21-year-old Samuel, and it was just like, wow, look at this guy. Like, he's like the Flash, you know? And I was like, my goodness, he's just killing it. And now
you know,
like,
the secret. Now you know the secret to that. I was just that. I was operating not out of fear, but more out of urgency, where I need to make this work or it's over. I don't have a job. I need to make this work or I cannot pay bills. Right, so I was out of urgency. That's why I moved so fast. That's why. Now let's actually get to that part of the story. So now I gave Darren Little my money. I remember it was Saturday. I quit my job on Friday. Then on Saturday I went to my father's house, right? Because I usually hung out with my father every other week. And I remember I was on my computer. I was just on Facebook, and I looked at Darren Little's name, and I looked at my bank account. I had the money, so I reached out to him, and my exact words were, "Darren, I have the money. I know how much it's gonna cost me. Give me your link. Give me your sign up link," right? So now he gave me my link, like his link. I clicked on it, and I remember like my heart was beating. I was filling out my credit card details. It was my debit card details, and I'm like, I'm about to burn the ships completely. I paid the money. My bank account went from $13.50 to 48 cents, right? So I'm like, okay. Game time, baby. I told Darren, look, Darren, I paid all the money. What's next? What's next? This man, he told me, Sam, there are 3 training videos. Here are the 3 training videos. I need you to watch them 6 times minimum. Now, at the time, I had 2 choices. Like, I could have been like shocked and be like, did I just freaking get scammed? Did I just spend $1,350 for those 3 videos, right? I paid for mentorship, not for videos. Right? Yeah. But then there was another part of me, thanks to all the personal development I've done previous, I was hard on myself. Look, there's a lot of people that follow me, even maybe some of you who are watching this recording, maybe you follow me. You're going to notice that I'm very straight to the point. I'm very blunt with the things that I say, because I give myself permission to be hard on my students, to be hard on, to be straight out with people, because I'm straight with myself, right? I'm hard on myself. I told myself, Sam, if you knew any better, you would be the millionaire. If you knew any better, you wouldn't have 48 cents in that bank account. You would have $100,000 in that bank account, but you don't. You don't know any better. Humble yourself, young man. Humble yourself and listen to what this multimillionaire has to say. If he tells you to watch those videos 6 times, then you better like dedicate, like it has to become like a Bible study to you, where you every single day you dedicate yourself to those videos. And that's what I did. The first 4 days, Instead of spending 12 to 14 hours at the factory, since I no longer had the factory, I spent 12 to 14 hours watching those videos over and over and over and over. I was reprogramming the mind, right?
Yeah.
I was only looking at those videos. I was living and breathing those videos. And not to give too much away, just because, I don't want to give, I feel like it's a very sacred thing when you actually sign up to, because you have to first be qualified to join the mentoring group. Then there's the sign up process. Then there's the sacred thing where you have to watch the video 6 times minimum, and you start to change your mindset, right? I don't want to take that experience away from some of you watching who maybe you joined. So just to kind of like keep it short, the videos, what they taught me how to do is not only make money, right? They taught me how to love myself again. They taught me how to know that I am worth over $1,000 per day. I am worth it. I'm not worth $100 a day. I'm not even worth $500 a day. I am worth $1,000 a day. That's what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Right. And now I can say that with a passion. Now I believe that. That's what I'm worth. I'm worth nothing less. And I believe you're worth nothing less, Nicola. Nobody that's watching this, you're worth nothing less than $1,000 a day. And one day you're going to tell yourself, I'm worth nothing less than $10,000 a day, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50. The number just keeps going. It's a game. It just keeps going up. So I finally told myself that. I'm like, you know what? I forgive myself. I love myself. I looked at myself in the mirror. We learned how to do mirror work, right? Where I look at myself in the mirror and I said, Samuel Mojica Jr., I love you. And I love what you stand for. And you know what? You're worth $1,000. You deserve. God wants you. The man up above wants you to make $1,000 today. And I told myself, you know what? I accept it. On the 5th day, I worked for 2 hours exactly. And I made $1,000 on day number 5.
And how
that
did
day,
feel?
that day is actually the best day of my life. It changed everything. You know that my first $1,000 on day number 5, it made more of an impact on my life than my first $10,000.
Yeah.
Right? Because that day proved to me that this wasn't all just BS, that everything I paid for wasn't just like another one of those programs. No, it proved to me that it was real. That if I could make $1,000 in one day, I could probably make $1,000 every day. I just had to keep on doing the same stuff over and over and over again, right? So what I did exactly that. On day number 6, I made $1,000. Day number 7, $1,000. Day number 8, $1,000. Right? The first 10 days of implementing things, right? The first 4 days were just training.
Yeah.
But day number 5, and then 10 days after that, I made my first $10,000. And then after that, everything changes. And I actually showed my mother, right? I'm like, Mom, like, look what I made. This is freaking nuts, right? I made over I think at the time I was like 12,400, 12,300, or something like that, right? I'm like this is freaking crazy. I made more money in like, I think it was 14 days. In 14 days than I did in 7 months working at my job, right? And it was crazy because I felt like I was on a cloud. Like, it was so unreal to me because I'm like, I had to keep convincing myself that I was worth it. First of all, like I actually started going towards some mental blocks because I'm like, do I really deserve this money? Did I really do anything that out there that's worthy of $12,000? And I had to keep looking at myself in the mirror and telling myself, yes, you have. Yes, you have. You've connected people into the exclusive group that changed your life. You're doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Right? You're giving
Changing
them
other
something
people's
that's
lives.
life-changing. Right?
Yeah.
That can change their lives completely. So I started feeling better about that. And because of that mentality, from day number 10 to day number 20, I made $18,000. And from 20 to 30, I actually finished at $24,000. I should have done 30, but I got lazy. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be straight with you, right? I got really comfortable. I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty happy with 24,000. I could chill now. I can kind of just lay back a little bit, right? Thankfully, my mentor, he actually kicked my ass. After that, he's like, Sam, let's keep it real. You got lazy, didn't you? And I'm like, yes, I did. Like, number one rule, never lie to your mentor. They're there to help you. So you be honest with them. I'm like, yes, I got comfortable, I guess. But I'm like, and he's like, dude, look, do you know that you have the potential to make over $200,000 this year? But you have to stay on the ball. You have to keep hustling. You have to keep on applying the formula. You have to keep on moving forward. If you get comfortable like you are right now, I promise you, 2 or 3 months from now, you're going to be broke. You're going to be back where you were if you don't keep on going. So thankfully, because he kind of whooped my butt there, right? Like, he's hard on us. Trust me, when he calls you one-on-one, you know he's about to go hard on you. And that's good. That's what a mentor does. A mentor cuts the bullshit.
Right?
They cut the BS and they just tell you like what you need to start doing. So because of that, my second month, I'm going to be honest, I kind of slacked off the second half. I only made like $6,000, 6,400 around there. But I did lock in $800,000. He actually helped me make an investment that in the next 5 years, right now, because of that investment, I can actually withdraw over $100,000 per year. So I have a six-figure income for the next 5 years because of the $5,000 I invested. And the biggest thing is that I had the money to invest. Previous to the whole millionaire mentoring, I didn't have any cash flow. I couldn't just make $5,000 investments, right? That's like do or die. That's like, hell's nowhere near that money. But because I actually became coachable, because I surrendered, because I finally made that decision that, you know what? Screw the price. Screw it. If it's going to cost me money, it's going to cost me money, but it's going to be worth the value. It's going to be
Yeah.
worth it. You know how scary it is right now looking back at that and knowing that if I was victimizing myself, if I was like, oh, 1,350, there's no way I'm going to pay that money, I would still be working at the factory. It's scary to think about that. I would still be working what time it is, 7:46 p.m. I would still be at that factory right now. Instead of talking to you, I would be flipping some bread. So it's crazy, but that's how my life changed. So now, basically, right now, I'm 2 months have already passed, right? So now I'm pretty much at the beginning of month number 3. My target this month is to make $20,000. If I can make more, I can make more. I think I could probably make more. So far, I've secured over 7,000, and it's only like the first week. So I believe that I'm worth more than $20,000 a month. I believe we all are, right? You just have to accept it. It's a process. It's literally a journey. It's a process that you have. It's an acceptance. Like when you make your first 10,000, you have to accept that you're worth that every month, and then you have to accept that you're worth 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. So I know I can hit 20. I'm gonna try pushing it to 30, right? But that's where I'm at right now, Nicola. That's my story.
That's
Now I'm just living my
have
lifestyle.
you gone back to the factory? Like since this has happened, right? You would have had people there who were kind of like, yeah, Radio Sam's gone off in crazy land. He'll be back in a month or so. Have you gone back and had some of the guys just, turn around and just be blown away with what you're actually doing and want to know what you're doing?
Let me actually show you now that you say it. It's funny that you say that because before we actually did this, all right, guys, this is the Samuel Mojica Jr. in the factory. That's my coworker. He actually called me today, right? And he just said like, hey, Sam, what's up, man? How's everything been? And I'm like, oh, man, everything's been pretty unreal. I'm just working right now. I was actually in front of my computer, like before this interview, just messaging people, working, right? I don't actually, it doesn't feel like work, to be honest, right? It just feels like I'm just talking to you. I'm networking.
Right?
I'm connecting. I'm networking.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot more fun than people think, like meeting new people and actually finding out their life story, finding out what they're going through, and then providing a solution. It feels very good when you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you have something that can change your life. So it feels good doing it. So whatever, he called me and he actually told me, hey Sam, by the way, the guy who replaced you, he actually quit his job. And we were wondering if you wanted to come back. And my answer was so quick. I'm like, dude, no, I'm good. Right? I told him, I'm going to be honest with you, Ricardo. We're speaking Spanish, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a lot happier doing what I'm doing right now. And I feel better. I feel better. Even if I was let's put this into perspective. Even instead of like the $10,000, $20,000 per month that I can consistently make right now, even if I was only making $2,000 a month online, I'm still working from home. I'm still talking to you right now. I'm still listening to my music, and I have my books, and I'm living my lifestyle. I'm happy, right? Even if I was only making $1,000 a month, to me, it's worth, like, I value my time a lot, and my happiness is worth more than any dollar amount, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a little example. I want to give this example before we move on, because I know this will put things into perspective. A lot of people, right, they just want to make money, right? And that's understandable. I only wanted to make money when I first started. Let's be real. I only wanted to make money, right? Before I became this leader that I am now, my only objective was to make money. And then it developed into, when I found out that after you make enough money, money really isn't that important anymore, right? It isn't the do all be all, right? That you feel really unfulfilled when you hit your goal, like of $10,000 a month. Like, if that's all you want to make, then you feel unfulfilled. So I started going more into helping people. I started going more into, really changing lives, because that fulfilled me. That filled in a void in my heart, right? So that's what I do now. But the story goes that there's two people, right? Person A, they're making $40,000 a year, but they live from home and they only work like 2 hours, 3 hours a day. Now there's person number B. Person B, I said number B. That sounds kind of weird. Whatever. There's person B. Person B, they're actually making $120,000 a year, which is $10,000 a month, but they have to work 8 to 10 hours per day on their business, or if they're a corporate employee in their job, they have to work 8 to 12 hours a day to make the 120,000. Who has more freedom?
Oh, definitely A.
I would rather, yeah, I would rather be making $40,000 a year, but living my life and actually traveling and being able to tell people stories and gaining wisdom than spend almost my whole life working a job, right? Making 100, 200, $300,000 a year, but being stuck. We
Yeah.
had the single mother, the right now, like the single mother who went on to make $200,000 her first year, right? That wasn't the first time she's made that money. She was actually a very high corporate executive in a company. I think it was like a water company or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like they sold water bottles or something, right? It
yeah.
was weird. Whatever. She was
Yeah,
at the
we'll be
top of her
talking to
game.
her later as well. So
Yeah, she was making like $250 to $275,000 a year, but the problem is that she lived and breathed that job,
yeah,
right? She was stuck, and the thing is that sure, it looked like she had everything. She had the money, but she wasn't fulfilled.
yeah,
Didn't have the freedom. What's the point of having money if you can't use it? If you can't, like, who is your boss to tell you that you can only take a vacation 4 times a year? I want to take a vacation every week, right? I want to take a vacation,
that's
four
exactly
times
right.
a month.
And the thing
You
is,
know?
like, we might be at home right now, both of us, at this time, but there's so many times that we could be at the beach, or we could go down to the
Yeah.
rainforest for a walk, or we could
And
be
it depends on your lifestyle. You know,
and
it
we can
depends on what,
still do this.
like, I always tell people financial freedom is different for everybody. It isn't just one thing, right? For me, financial freedom was not having to worry about money, being able to pay bills every month so my mother doesn't have to worry about bills, and living the lifestyle that I want to live whenever I want to live it, right? Without money being like the biggest issue. I can actually spend whatever I want and know that tomorrow I have another $1,000 coming in, right?
Yeah.
So I can spend 400 today, 500, 600 today, and then I have another 1,000 coming. Now, of course, my mentor taught me how to handle my money, how to actually build wealth, how to actually build good habits. Everyone's gonna have to go through that, because then if you don't, you're gonna end up blowing all you're gonna spend hundreds of thousands on crap.
And that's what we hear with like the lotto winners, right? Like you hear these people who they've won a massive lotto amount. They've won like $1 million, $200 million in the lotto, and within 12 months, 2 years, they're broke. They're completely and utterly broke. I mean, they've had an amount of money that could set themselves and their family up for the rest of their lives. But because they're not in the right mindset, and they don't have a mentor to be able to teach them how to manage that money and how to invest it into other things, they blow it and they're dead broke again in a year, 2 years time.
And that's you actually said the biggest thing: getting a mentor.
Yeah.
A mentor isn't just somebody that teaches you how to make money. No, they're more like a father or a mother figure, where they guide you, they teach you how to produce income, then they teach you how to save it, how to grow it, how to multiply it, how to actually use it in ways you never imagined. And that's what a mentor does. They take you up to where they are, right? Both our mentors, they're both of them, they're proven multimillionaires, they're documented, and they've actually raised over $80 million. So that group, that $1,350, I've gained $80 million worth of strategies, of education, of value. It's worth so much money now, right? To me, it's provided me, at this point, it's provided me over $40,000 in net profit. And it's also providing me over $800,000 net profit after 5 years with my investment, right? So it's done a lot for me. So I always tell people, like, it depends on what you want, right? Like, now, this is not for everybody. You have to be a leader. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you, it's going to be a cookie cutter. You just press a button and money pops out of nowhere. No, it won't be easy, but it is going to be worth it.
Yeah, it's exactly like what you said earlier. I've had people say the same thing to me, like, you got to choose your priorities, right? So, like 6 months ago when your mates would have said, hey, look, we're going out for drinks Friday night, we're going down to the club, it'd be like, yeah, okay, well, I'll take my last $50 and go and have some fun for the night and worry about that tomorrow. And whereas now, like, once we start in this training and we start learning, like, and it's just so much growth, is that we learn to say no to those things, because right now I'm happy to say no, because I'm doing what I can now to live the life that I want later. Whereas they're still running that same pattern. So like in 2 years' time, those people are still on the same road. They're still going down that same path. Whereas, 2 years' time, you're living the life that you've told them you're going to live, and they don't understand how. So like you said, it is very much, you know, you've got to kind of qualify to get into this program, because you can't just go, yeah, I'm going to do it and then sit on your ass and do nothing, right? That's just part of it. So it is all about setting intentions and having, you know, a goal and a vision there, and learning to say no to family and friends when you want to go out and party instead of building a legacy for yourself.
You know, the biggest thing, I'm going to tell you the biggest thing I got out of the whole mentorship, and I'm still, by the way, I'm still going. I'm only on my 9th week, right? I just finished 8 weeks. I'm on my 9th week, right? So I'm still going. It's ongoing for me. It wasn't even just the money that I've made, right? It was all the connections that I've developed, because inside of that group, guys, we have many people that they're already making, you know, 10, 20, $30,000 a month. And the thing is that they're accessible. Since you're a part of that same exclusive group, you can talk to them. You can message them today and get a message back no later than tomorrow.
Yeah.
And now I have all these people making, you know, 100, 200, $300,000 per year in my network. And that's the thing, like those people, they're not going to tell you, oh, you know, let's go out to eat, right? Oh, let's go out and waste money in a club, right? We do like to have fun, right? We're regular people. But the thing is that when you surround yourself with people that are making a lot of money and you continue to do that, you're going to keep pushing yourself forward, and that's going to make you think differently. Because my friends right now, they're like, oh, let's go pay, you know, for an event. Let's go to an event together. Or if we're going to go out to the club, I'm going to ask them, sure, let's go to the club, but how much money did you make today? Oh, you know, Sam, I didn't really make much. Make something, and then we can reward ourselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We can go, like, if you're going to go to the club, then you better feel like you deserve that, right? Don't just go to waste money. Yeah. Go to reward yourself. We're actually taught, I don't want to reveal too much on the formula, but there's a formula of manifestation, how to get anything you want out of life. And the first thing is setting an intention, right? Then there's like the other two things. And the last part, which I'll reveal, the last part is congratulating yourself. Once you've achieved what you've already wanted to achieve, reward yourself. I reward myself through my stomach, right? I just take myself out to, I'm a fine diner. I treat myself out to, you know, to good stuff, because I feel like I deserve it. I've worked for it, right? Yeah. So that's kind of, you develop that mentality the more you start to hang out with successful people. Like there's always I forgot the quote. It's like, you are who you surround yourself with, right? If you surround yourself with losers, and I'm gonna use that word. I'm gonna be firm on that word, because look, some people at the current moment, when I used to work at the factory, like before the factory, I was a loser. I'll be honest, I was a loser at the time, right? We all have to start somewhere. I was a loser, but as I went along the personal development journey, as I bettered myself, as I started making way more money, right? And now I started to surround myself with more successful people. I'm only going to become more successful. I'm surrounded by success. I don't just let anybody. This is the reason, by the way, Nicola, which I would, I don't know if you've been doing this, but if you haven't, I would start doing this. That when I bring people into the mentoring group, like I don't just, they could, even if they have the money, they can have the money. I'm not letting them in until they qualify, because I refuse to let anybody in that group if I know they're not going to succeed in it. If I know that they have the money, but their mentality is get rich quick, and they have the lottery mentality, all that stuff, I'm not letting them in that group, because I know that I'm just stealing their money, because I know they're going to fail in it. Why would I bring them in if they're going to fail? That's unethical to me, right? And my mentor, he taught me, always be ethical, always speak from your heart, always act from your heart, right? Don't just try to take money. Like, make sure you're providing the value, right? So now I actually, whenever somebody wants to be a part of the group, like I just had somebody during this interview tell me, hey, Sam, I'm interested, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just not going to tell them, oh, you know, come aboard. No, I'm going to now tell them, all right, man. So just so you know, it's going to cost money. It may cost more money than you think, but if you qualify to be a part of this group, I'll be more than happy to move you forward. And by qualification, I just ask them questions. What's your vision? Why are you looking to make more income? You know, how much money do you want to make per month? How much are you making now, right? If they tell me they want to be making $1,000 per month, it's probably not for them, because they're going to be surrounded by people that are making tens of thousands per month, and they're not. It's conflicting. It's going to conflict with their goals. They're going to be like, you know, they're going to feel, you know, demoralized, because they're like, oh, they only want to make 1,000 a month. They have, like, you know, Sam's making 20, Charlene's making 20, 30, 40,000 a month. We have, you know, Billy making, you know, 12 to 20 a month, right? Like it might demoralize them, but if I know that their goal is to make $10,000 or even like $4,000 to $10,000 a month, I know that more or less their goals are in a good spot that can push them. Because $1,000 a month will not push you, right? So, like, you need to. There's a certain my sweet spot is 4,000 to 10,000. I usually, if they give me any number lower than that, then I just give them basic training. I'm like, all right, look, I don't think you're going to qualify for this. Like, I don't think you'll do well yet, like not yet in this group, but you may have potential. I don't know if you have it, but you may have it. So just so we can see if you do, let me get you started on some basic training, which is like a $97 training that is actually very high quality. It actually helps them, right?
Exactly.
And and depending on how they use it, if I see that they implement it and that they get results, I'm like, you know what? This may be a good contender. This may be somebody that if they were to join the mentoring group and actually go through the process, they may make $10,000 their first month. Right.
And
So
this isn't just yourself. This is how this whole program is. Like we're not here to take people's money. We're here to change lives. So exactly what you're saying there. I'm not just going to let any Tom, Dick, and Harry say, "Hey, look, man, I've got $2,000. I want to join the group." Because to me, like exactly what you're saying there is that we don't want to set them up for failure. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair enough. We want to know that they're qualified and that they're mentally ready. And like you said, if they're not ready, we do have other little windows that we can help them get ready and be prepared. Because
I hope, this is a good example of what we learn, in the mentorship. We learn how to be leaders. At the end of the day, we learn how to become leaders. And a leader doesn't just look at the money. Sure, look, we all got to pay bills. We all got to eat, right? So the money does play some part, but we don't just look at the money. I look at the potential. I'm a potential hunter. Like if I see potential, let's say me and Nicola, let's say we've never met before, but I see potential in her. I see that she can potentially become somebody. I feel like I'm a claymaker where I'm going to give her some help and I'm going to help mold her. And if I know that she goes from nothing to 10,000, from nothing to 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 her first month, right? Guys, that's going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel happier knowing that I played some part in her success. That's what this is all about. A leader, a mentor doesn't get pleasure from their own results. Look, I don't care if I make 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 this month, right? Sure, I'm happy about it. I feel good about it. But what makes me feel happier, what fulfills me, is knowing that because of what I taught Nicola, she goes on and makes $10,000. That fulfills me, knowing that I impacted her family. I was able to, help her make enough money to feed her children and take her children wherever she wants and go and, plan vacations with her and her husband, right? I just knowing that I was able to play that part in her life. Like, that's why I say being a mentor is almost like being a father or being a mother. Or just being that uncle, that rich uncle, or that rich auntie that you've never had, and you're being able to give that to somebody else. That's what this is all about, right? So I'm super passionate about this, guys. Like, even to this day, I always tell people, like, I have people come up to me, tell me, Sam, look, what's your price for me? I tell them, look, wait. I'm not going to mentor you. I don't want to do you that disservice. Let me connect you to the person that mentored me.
Yeah.
Let me connect you into the personal, exclusive group that taught me how to become who I am, because you're going to get more value out of that than me just like regurgitating what I learned and just trying to teach you, right? I'd rather you learn from the source, So right now I just lead people into that group. Like, that group is worth it. It's funny when you look back at it now. It was only 1,350, and because of it, I was able to secure over 6 figures for my family every year, because I've learned a skill set that even if something were to happen to the internet, let's say God forbid, the internet, right, and the internet goes down and I have to do everything offline, I developed a skill set through my mentor and through the training in the group that I can just start an offline business, and I promise you I'll make 6 figures that year, minimum 6 figures, just because I've learned the skill, I've learned the formula, right? I've learned the formula, and that's what you learn inside the mentoring group. So that's where I'm at, Nicola. I know I don't even know I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember the last question you asked me, but hopefully that was a good answer.
Honestly, I mean, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And that's the biggest thing that I even try to, when I speak to people myself, is it's not about the money, guys. It's about how you feel. It's about helping others. And it's about having that passion. I'm more than happy for, my students and other people in the group who join, even 12 months after I joined, to super succeed me, because that makes me happy. And it, warms my heart to think that we've offered this to somebody to change their life. Like, we go to all these other things, we have Tony Robbins, who comes out and does shows and stuff. Do you really know Tony Robbins? Have you actually can you have a chat to him You know, can you send him a message and he's personally
If you're willing to pay at least $10,000 an hour, then
exactly
sure.
right. So and even then it's a one-off, right? It's a one-off. It's not a continuation, right? That's a one-off.
Yeah.
You want to talk to him again, you got to fork that money out again, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with us, like you're saying, you know, it's such a small amount to get into, and our mentor charges $1,000 an hour, but yet once we're in this program, we have mentor sessions. You know, I remember the last call that we just had, we had 76 people on that call. Yeah. And I mean, wow, right? So 76 people got.
Yeah, and I actually want to put that into perspective, guys. Every single week or every 2 weeks, our mentor gives us a 3-hour coaching session where not only does he break everything down for us, if you have a personal question, you literally have direct access to a multi-millionaire. And you can ask, I think before, like I asked him, there was one question, it was not the last one with the previous coaching session, it was like maybe 3 weeks ago. I literally asked him, Darren, how can I start attracting people that are like you? Like, where do the rich people hang out? I literally asked him, like, where do wealthy, where do wealthy, because I'm like, dude, he's a multimillionaire, like, where do you hang out?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, Sam, so like, this is exactly what I do. If you want to find places where the wealthy people hang out, all you have to do is go to super high-end hotels, go to the people that work there and ask them. Like, first you have to look the part, dress up, like suit up, dress up, look nice, look high-end, go up to somebody that works there and tell them, say, where are all the cool places around here? Like, are there any cool places around this area? They're going to tell you exactly where all the people that are like you who are high net worth, where they're hanging out. And imagine if you hang out there and you just start conversations and network and make some friends, you're developing a network of highly influential people, right? And guys, like I just gave you guys an answer that people, I guarantee you, those of you that are watching, you would have probably paid like $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000 to even learn that.
Yeah,
I can make a whole course about that, about how to network with highly influential people, because you can make millions of dollars if you have the right network and the right product, right? So it's pretty cool. So that's the type of content you learn on those mentoring sessions. It blows my mind every time. And they happen frequently. He gives us 3 hours of his time every week, every 2 weeks, and that's $3,000 per hour. Like he charges $1,000 an hour. That's $3,000 coaching sessions for free, and we only had to pay $1,350 one time. And that's not right. And that's only one little part of it. You also get the training videos. You also get access to the network of people. You can literally directly talk to me, talk to Nicola, and ask us questions. Tell us, look, Sam, give me your little checklist of how you made your first $10,000. And I can be like, hey, no problem, man. Since you're a part of Black Ops, since we're family now, here's my checklist. Here you go. You know, go use it however you want.
And it's exactly what you said, we're family, right? We're family.
Yeah, it's like we're family. Like if anybody else were to ask me, hey, Sam, can you give me your checklist? I would probably sell it. I would say, sure. You know, for $100, I'll give it for not even $100, for $1,000, I'll give it to you. Sure. But because you're part of the group, because we're like family, because now you're in my network, you get access to me. You get access to my stuff. You get access to Nicola's stuff. You get access to our mentor stuff, right? $80 million worth of strategies. You gain access to that.
Yeah.
And it's only 1,350. Like when you say it like that, like it's like that 1,350, it should be 10,000.
Yeah.
Like I would have paid $10,000 for the same stuff, but thankfully, you know, by the grace of God, it's still it's low enough that most people can afford it, but it's high enough that like people who are victimized, or people who, you know, they're in that lottery mentality, like it kind of pushes them away. So it's a good thing, right? So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. And if the price is going up, I don't know if you heard, Nicola, the price is actually going up to like, I think like $3,400 a year, right? Like it's $200 a month and $2,000 a year, which is like $3,400 a year. It's going to go up to, which is still worth it. It is still freaking cheap compared to the value you get. But it is going to go up, guys. So depending on where you're watching this interview, I don't know if you're going to have like a button down below, Nicola, or something. Right?
Oh, we'll have that button down below.
There's probably a button down below, guys. Keep in mind, right now it's only 1,350, but it won't be like that forever. Like at any moment, I don't know if it's going to be maybe a week or two from now. I think it's going to be, it's the 16th of July, I think, right now. I forgot my days. There you go. Yeah.
The 17th in Australia, because we're in the future here. But
yeah, I think our mentor plans on raising the price to $3,400 a year. I think in 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
And there's a lot more things in there as well. Like
we're officially launching a lot of things right now in there. So that's why they're also raising the price. So the price that you see down below is not going to be there forever. I recommend you join before the price goes up, because what's happening is that if you join now, like right now at 1,350. you're going to be grandfathered for free for a whole year for free into the official program once it launches in 3 weeks. So that means instead of having to pay $2,000 a year, you have that whole year of weekly millionaire mentoring for free.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that alone is worth a lot of money. So I think that's pretty cool. But you have to join now, right? I'm not. That's not fake, but that's not fake urgency, guys. You're gonna hold me to that word. 3 to 4 weeks from now, I want you to look at that button down below again, and the price will be higher.
It's
right? So I recommend you join as soon as possible. Like if you're watching this right now and it's still close to the 16th, I would just join as soon as you can.
Yeah, 100%. And there was one thing that I did want to touch on, because you also said that you did a lot of network marketing before you came along with this. And like I said, it's always, harass your family and friends. Do a list of 25 family friends and go and harass them.
A memory jogger.
That's right. So here's the thing. When we're in those, okay, they're still network marketing, they're MLLs, whatever you want to call them, right? I don't know why, but there seems to be, whether you're in the same company, there's competition between people. So you may still be like, okay, say Tupperware, for example. So you got a Tupperware rep here and a Tupperware rep here. They don't actually, work together as family. They compete, and they're constantly competing. And the company itself, there's no love. There's no I suppose, backup. There's no one there to say, hey, look, you're having a bad day. It's okay. We all have bad days. Let's just keep going. And that's what the biggest thing that I have taken. I've seen so many shiny objects. I've been there like yourself. I've tried this. I've tried that. And I found it always, sort of bitchy. You know what I mean? Like everybody's kind of competing with each other instead of boosting each other and helping. And
you see, the thing is, there's a 97% failure rate. Did you know that in any MLM right now? Look, and if you're watching, I'm not talking down MLMs because I started like that.
Yep.
Right. But the thing is that every MLM, if you look at their numbers, most MLMs they're actually public, right? So you can look at their numbers.
Yep.
Less than 3% of the people in that MLM are making more than $400 a month. Put that into perspective. That's millions of people, right? Yep. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like.
And I would say exactly. And like you said about the 13, how much it is for us to get into this program, and it's that one-off payment for us to be able to get this such amazing mentorship and such a family business. Like there's so much love and support. When you look back at those MLMs that you were doing, and I mean, I still love them. I still have a couple here and there, but I find that the auto ship costs me more over 12 months than it did to get into this.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't want to like disclose this. Like, guys, you can literally use the strategies inside of that mentoring group and become the top number one, or it's not number one, like top 5 in your MLM company, depending on how big your numbers are, right? If your top earners are grossing millions and millions of dollars, it might take you some time. But you can literally be on the leaderboard applying the same strategies that we learn in the mentorship. And this can be like whether you're in real estate, let's say you're not even in network marketing, you're in real estate, anything that, if you're in any business that requires you talking to people and acquiring customers where you actually have to do sales, then you can go on to make 6 to 7 figures a year applying the strategy. So this isn't just for network marketers. This is for anybody that's looking to get more out of life. Like in my case, at this point in my life, then, I don't care much about making more and more money, right? I want more life. I want to travel more. I want to, help more people. I want more. And it's kind of greedy when I say that, but I want more, right? I know many of you watch, you may be in that situation where you're making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, but you want more, right? Yeah. This is a way for you to get more, for you to connect with other people who want more. And who knows, maybe I can be your next business partner. Maybe we can start $1 million business together. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason of having a network, right? So Nicola, I'm so sorry, by the way, that I know we kind of strayed off into many things, right? That's how it happens in these interviews.
I mean, that's the best part about this, right? Yeah. Is that we're not just locked into one thing. Like our mentor teaches us about other things. We've got into crypto programs, we've got into different things. So it's staying close to the fire is what's really making our whole lives and the universal deposits getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know you don't have kids, but with myself having 4 small children, this program even helped with my kids, I teach my kids some of the stuff as well. And it's just amazing watching my kids grow and them talking to other friends and stuff. My kids now, my eldest is 10 and once they want to start a YouTube channel to teach other kids, right? So So you don't have to, this isn't, like you said, it's not just for a certain, you know, avenue, it's for life. You use this in everyday life. You use it for yourself, you use it for your relationships, you use it with your children, you use it with your friends, use it with, it's just life. It's changing your life and changing your mentality and your lifestyle. And then the abundance around you just seems, life's a lot brighter and happier. We still have our down moments. We're all human. We all have those doubts and things, but it's a matter of being taught how to react to those, which is, you know, what's been great about this mentorship is being learning, like I said, not to go back into that victimhood.
Yeah.
And actually,
you want to hear something funny, like something awesome? I don't think it's that funny, but it's pretty awesome. That every day I set my intention to make $1,000 a day. Right? I know some people that sounds crazy, but those that are actually making it happen, they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, 1,000 a day, that's a good start, right? Because I only work at nighttime, most of my money comes in at night. Because I set the intention, I haven't made the $1,000 today yet, but I'm not worried about it because during this interview, somebody literally watched my last Facebook Live and they said, you know what, Sam, I'm interested. I said the price and they're like, you know what, I'm interested. That's $1,000 I'm about to make tonight. And you know, you didn't really have to do much. And that's the whole point. Like you learn how to work efficiently. You learn the formula. You learn how to attract people to your business so that, like, I don't do cold calling. I don't do cold messaging. I have incoming inquiries every single day. I don't say that to be cocky. I say that to prove the fact that the formula works.
yeah,
We all learn that. I'm sure Nicola has incoming inquiries into her business too.
you
So
become the attractor factor, don't you? And it's amazing how much that changes your life. Like you go from reaching out to people all the time and, you know, like getting all those knockbacks to now being inundated by people saying, hey, like, what are you doing? I want to know what's going on. And the feeling from switching from reaching out constantly and getting knocked back to being the person that people are reaching out to, it's an amazing feeling. It's kind of like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Can I actually ask you a question, Nicola? I'm sure a lot of people may have about this question too. Does it feel awesome being surrounded by people that, you know, are making $10, $20, $30,000 a month every day? Like, how does that feel? Doesn't it feel awesome? I think for me, it feels amazing, you know?
Honestly, I live a lifestyle where most of the people that I have in my life kind of are on a plateau, if you know what I mean. So once I got into this, it was a little bit sort of like overwhelming at first. It was like, oh my gosh. But then now it's like it's nothing. It's like it's normal. It's just normal.
That's the good thing. Yeah, that means it's working, right? That's why I'm always talking about big numbers. Like, hopefully, if anybody that's still watching to this point, you have the patience of a saint. And because you're still watching, chances are you're either hitting these numbers or you see the potential in yourself to do $1,000 a day. Because there's a quote that I live by that says, everything is impossible until you do it. Flying in the sky was impossible until two crazy men decided to build this freaking vehicle that lets them fly like birds in the sky, right? Being able to illuminate a dark room used to be impossible until a crazy man or woman decided, you know what? I think I can actually make this happen. And now we have light, right? Even glasses. There was a crazy person out there that had big dreams that said, you know what? I don't know if I can cure like lack of vision, but there has to be a way for me to give people back their vision so they can see the beauty in the world again. And because they were crazy enough to believe that, now we have glasses that without these glasses, I can't see anything. With the glasses, that man or woman who created these glasses, they gave me back my vision. And that's something big because they gave me back color. They gave me back like the beauty in life. Right. And it all starts with that. Everything is like making $1,000 per day is impossible. And maybe it may sound impossible to you right now until you do it. Then
and you're not even limited to $1,000 a day. I mean, really, you're limited to whatever you limit yourself to.
Whatever you limit yourself. Yeah, that's why it's a journey. You grow. Yeah. You start growing and growing and growing. So I'm gonna be honest, Nicola. I'm getting really hungry. Right. So, is there any last questions you have?
No, actually, I'm absolutely blessed to have had you today. We've spoken about so much and we've covered so many topics. And that's the thing. For anybody who is still watching, I mean, you're really running up that qualifying list real quick because you've taken the time to do this. But like Sam said, you need to click that button below because the price is going to change and our program is going to change, right? Our program is going to have so much more value in it, even more once the new one's launched.
And you know what? I want to actually throw something in, Nicola, for your people and my people too. That, look, if you do end up signing up today, and we can kind of check the times on when people actually click on that button. If you sign up today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys one of those millionaire mentoring sessions that are $3,000. If you wanted to buy the video, it's actually $3,000 on the website. I will give you one of those videos for free, just for showing us that you're qualified, and also for taking a chance on yourself. Because more than anything, right, you're taking a chance on your potential, and I want to reward that. So anybody that signs up today, you're going to get that $3,000 bonus on me. It's on the house, right? Literally the moment you join, there's no resistance. Here's your video, right?
That is
so just
amazing.
Right.
See,
So that's
and this is what we're talking about, right? It's all about love. It's all about helping. So I'm
so that's a bonus, guys. That's my bonus.
Yeah. Wow. Like, okay, if I hadn't signed up, I'd be in on that real quick. So, that is amazing. That's fantastic, Sam. I'm really, really happy with that. And I think these guys here will be amazed at the value that comes in those as well. So thank you so very, very much for jumping on today. It's been absolutely amazing speaking with you. And I'm sure everybody who's been watching has learned that it's not actually as hard as what they think it is, right? It's actually really easy to do this. And it's just a matter of setting that intention and having that mindset and wanting to make a difference in your life. Because as soon as you've made that decision that you want to change your life, things start changing real quick. So you've got to jump onto that speedboat and hang on. So thank you very much. It's been absolutely amazing for you guys to join us here today. Big thanks to Sam. He's just, I can't believe, like, your story is just amazing. It just blows me away. And I'm sure over the next few days, I'm going to start seeing you hitting out another 1,000, you know, like, it wouldn't surprise me if you're at, 30, 40.
I mean, you're gonna see it tonight.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon and jumping on another Millionaire Mentors.
All right.
They're so exciting. But don't forget, click that button below. Jump on while we're still in that cheap price, because you really want to get grandfathered into that new program. You do not want to miss the opportunity. So once again, thank you very much. It's Nicola Rodriguez from Australia Down Under and Sam Mojica Jr. from Miami in Florida. So 2 different sides of the world, but we're here and we're killing it. So enjoy your day. Thanks.
All right, guys. Take care.